Hey everyone, welcome back to another Mattel Jurassic World review. Today we're going to take a look at our first Dino Tracker, the Sinotyrannus. The Dominion line is now over. We're moving on to Dino Trackers. The Sinotyrannus is part of the gigantic Trackers assortment, which is the same size class as the previous Massive Action. I ended up getting this figure from Amazon. It retails for just over $20. I'll leave the link down below in the description. And these figures are also being found at Targets. I actually found this figure the other day, but mine already shipped out from Amazon. Plus the packages I saw on the shelves look like they got hit by a friggin' bus. So let's go over the package and check out what this is all about. You got the Jurassic World logo down here, the new Dino Trackers logo in the other corner. We got Beta and Blue for whatever reason, because they played a huge part in Dominion. On the back of the box, we get a picture of how the gigantic tracker action works on here. We get a picture of the other figure that's available in this wave. It's the Joker We Live in a Society Stegosaurus. I'm not going to pick that one up. I just think the color scheme looks absolutely atrocious. And up here we have a picture of the new gimmick for the line. I guess they're coming with tracking gear now. And so that will do it for the packaging. Let's crack this Sinotyrannus open and take a closer look. And here is the Sinotyrannus the packaging. A really cool figure. I'm actually liking it a lot better than I thought I would. Now, Sinotyrannus means Chinese tyrant, and it is from the early Cretaceous of, you guessed it, China. So there's not a lot of skeletal material of this animal. It definitely had a crest. Was it as exaggerated as in this figure? We know Mattel likes to take a lot of artistic liberties with their figures. Probably not, but I think they did a pretty good job with it. It has decent paint work. You get some bright red on the crest and the side of the head and neck. Some light green mixed in there. They cheaped out and made the arms the light green plastic, to save on paint. Pretty typical for Mattel. But look at this. They actually put paint on the end of the tail. They actually remember where the tail is for once. They just really don't like painting tails on figures in the main line. So that really makes this figure feel pretty much complete with the paint apps on the tail. So yeah, pretty cool figure. We've got the Dino tracking gear that we'll go over a little bit later on in the review. It's kind of like a weird hybrid of like the capture gear, but wish there was a little bit more paint on the gear, because it's just like a one color piece of brown plastic. But all in all, a pretty cool looking figure. And now for some measurements. This figure is 13.5 inches long from the tip of the snout to the tip of the tail, or 34.3 centimeters, and about 5 inches tall to the top of the head, or 12.7 centimeters. So Sinotyrannus in real life was between 30 to 33 feet long, or 9 to 10 meters. So I'll put this figure somewhere in the 126 to the 130 scale range. Now let's zoom in and take a closer look at that noggin. A very well sculpted head, lots of nice sculpted detail all over it. There's some large scales on the tip of the snout. Some paleontologists think tyrannosaurs had these large scales like crocodiles that were pressure sensitive, like the snouts of Rexes were very touch sensitive. You have the crest nicely sculpted up here. It's all decked out in red paint. The eye is painted yellow with a black pupil. Lower jaw is cast in a yellow color. You have these big teeth hanging out the top jaw, and in the lower jaw they are painted a very light gray color. And then inside the mouth you do have some glossy pink plastic for the roof of the mouth, and you have some glossy pink for the tongue. Here's a view of the head from the top. And then going down to the neck, you have all these large osteoderms and spikes peppered throughout the whole entire sculpt. You got more of that red going down the neck, and there's some light green to break up all that dark green. And going down to the arms are cast in that light green coloration. The hand claws are not painted in, pretty typical for almost every Mattel figure that's not a Hammond collection. And going down to the main body, got some more of those spikes going all the way down to the tip of the tail. And right here, let's pop it out. Here is the scan code for those of you who want to scan this into the Fax app. And then going down to the hind legs, you do have this little fin coming off the thigh. Another creative liberty from Mattel. Get some more large scales on the thigh. Going down the feet. Feet are a little oversized, but not as bad as it is in some other figures. Not painted in. On the underside, you do have some spikes underneath the throat. Some nice scalation on the underside of the body. And then going down to the tail. Look, yes, they remember where the tail is. We have a little bit of red paint. You have those fins sticking out the sides of the tail, all decked out in red. So yeah, all in all, a pretty cool figure. One thing I don't like, and they're still doing it, they're just adding like different colored plastic onto the paint, you get this weird swirling effect. It just makes the toys look like they have stress marks all over them. Just really, really not a fan of that. You can see it on the other side as well. Now for articulation, it's pretty basic, and most of it's tied to the action feature. The arms can move forwards and backwards. They're on a hinge. They can swing out. That one is really tight. Back legs move backwards and forwards. They have a locking point to keep them in that neutral position. And there is a pivot at the thighs. Now for the action feature, you actually have two buttons on the top of the back right here. This one over here controls the head, allows it to swing side to side and open the mouth. And the other one right here will allow the tail to swing side to side. And now let's take a look at the Dino tracking gear. It's made out of a soft, flexible brown rubber material. So yeah, really nicely sculpted. A lot of cool stuff on here. These look like the covers that go over the eyes, and you have these laser tracking things. Hoses that connect to it, the battery pack on here. We got buckles and straps. This definitely could have had at least a couple paint apps on here. I would like to see a little bit of red on these laser trackers, just something to break up all that brown. So let's get this on the Sinotyrannus and see how this looks. Just gonna pop it over like this, and then get the get the camera to focus in on that. That'd be great. Now once you get it on, there is a little bit of a chin strap to put on here. It's kind of tough. I'm just going to leave it like that for now for the sake of speeding up this review. So yeah, pretty cool looking. I like the way how it covers its eyes. Man, maybe it's seeing some kind of reading from these sensors right here to give her better vision. But yeah, liking the Dino Tracker gear. It's definitely something interesting. You know, I might paint this up a little bit just to break it up. And the action feature kind of works a little bit. You just can't, the head won't turn, but the mouth can open at least while you have the gear on. Moving on with comparisons, here it is with the Hammond Collection Alan Grant. And next up here it is with the Velociraptor and the Hammond Collection Velociraptor. Let's get this in. There you go. And next up here it is with the Stegosaurus. So you do have a size comparison with the Joker one that's in this set. And next up here it is with the Raw Striker Megaraptor. And next here it is with the Samosaurus, which is the worst offender for that mixed plastic look. It just looks like this thing just got completely ejaculated on. And lastly, here it is with the Hammond Collection T-Rex. So final thoughts on the Sinotyrannus. Really cool figure. I'm enjoying it much more than I thought I would. I like the idea of the Dino Tracker gear. It's a pretty cool concept. You know, they teased us with the capture gear during a Primal Attack. Was it Primal Attack? I can't even keep track anymore. But very few figures came with it, so it'll be really interesting to see how many figures come with this tracking gear. It's a cool figure overall. I like the sculpt on it. It's very well painted. You know, not a lot of paint apps, but they're all in the right places, and it makes it feel like a finished figure. Love the crest on there, even though it might be a little bit exaggerated, but all around pretty happy with this figure. Now, like I said at the beginning of the review, I got this figure from Amazon. Link is down below in the description. They're also being found at Target stores. It's the holiday shopping season, so I'm sure we're going to see a ton of new figures hitting shelves the next couple of weeks. So that will do it for the review. I have a few more new figures from Dino Trackers coming in this week, so expect those reviews probably by the weekend. And as always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously, and it's greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.